Alright guys, so here's my attempt at making a what I'm going to call a Frankenstein bench test motor setup for my CPU computers. I wanted a simpler way to test motherboards and any other components that I want to test as I get different ones as I find them. So one of the things I've done is I basically took a recent find. It was an older gaming system. It was actually two of them, and I took bits and parts out of both of the units, so I could basically get in there and basically invert it inside out. So I have all the components that you would normally have inside the computer on the outer portion of the casing. Here you'll see my power supply, and then I've got some external stuff here where I've got some USB ports. I got my old hard drive, floppy disk hard drive. I don't really know a whole lot about the computer side of stuff. I just want to be able to test components before I sell them. A couple CD-ROM drives, and then they've got the simple disconnect, so you can simply turn one of these, pop this out, and the unit will slide right out. So that makes things nice and easy there. You got your motherboard set up, you know, just hanging out right here. So like I said, I can basically test anything I want quickly. I can do quick drive change outs, video cards I can swap out. Makes it pretty simple. But I pretty much got this all set up, so I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what I've got going. I've got a lot of space down below here to have some other units. Whether I want to have more hard drives like you see here. I also have a spot up here where I can have more hard drives, and just makes things really simple to pull in and out to do some quick tests. Now these video cards have got some DVI connections, so I just now got a monitor that can accept VGA, DVI, and HDMI, so I should be good there. It's made by LG, should be a good setup. Let me go ahead and hook this up, and I'll show you guys how I can quickly test the motherboards to make sure that they're good before I go to sell them. Alright, so we've got the power supply hooked up. We're going to simply come over here, flick on the power supply, and then you'll notice here I've got a nice hookup to where I wired into the setup there for an easy, nice push start button here. So I can click that, and I get a nice startup here of everything working. So as you can see, now I've got the motherboard all started. I've got the power hookup for the 24-point setup. Got the 8-pin in the back. Looks like everything seems to be running. Now all I simply have to do is just hook up to a monitor to these video cards. Just make sure that I get some video to make sure that the cards are working. I can also do a load test, bench test with this as well. So that's going to be a nice setup that I have as well. And you know, pretty much can just kind of run it through its courses to make sure that there's not going to be any hiccups or problems with the unit before I go to sell it. Then when I'm done there running everything through my test, I simply come back down to my push button. I'm probably going to get this mounted somewhere else at some point. I simply just come in and push the button, and everything just turns right off. So real nice, easy setup, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, so you guys can basically make your own. You can buy these units already set up, ready to go, maybe a little bit smaller versions for anywhere right around $100, $70, $100, something like that. But I figured I would just go ahead and use the other components before I just, recycled them and threw them out, to just make this bench test something I can easily swap out and do a test for any component in the future. So I hope you guys let me know what you think.